repair. Well, welcome back to the shop. That's a heavy engine. Holy buckets. This is the Kohler CH1000 generator engine, commonly used on the Kohler RC820s. And this was a warranty job, and Kohler didn't want it back. So it's mine. And we are going to add to my collection of pistones that are on the wall over here. And we're going to have her apart. And once we get her apart, we're going to see just how incredibly skookum this engine is. Oh, I think I need my 8mm socket for pulling off the blower housing. So, but yeah, so we're going to do a similar teardown to like what was in that. Oh, might help if I got the right size socket, a 8mm as opposed to a 9mm. But we're going to tear this one down just like we did the old Briggs & Stratton Vanguard that was abused by high schoolers. And the fun thing is that this engine didn't fail catastrophically on the inwards, but rather it just wallered out the crank terminal on the flywheel side here. So that we're gonna see how well she works, and I'll bring you along for the ride. We will cut you in and out periodically when we get to certain fun points. And actually, you may want to empty my trash here, because let's just say that it's going to be a lot on this thing. So, framing, you Fruit Loop. So obviously will be a multi-parter, because I want to show you all the inner workings of this guy. But you can already see this thing is just a monster of an engine. Oil cooler incorporated into the blower housing. That's genius. That's genius. Because you're getting the most airflow through there. Least likelihood that it's going to clog up with dirt, at least for this, in this machine's application. It's a standby generator. It doesn't move, doesn't stir up dust. So we'll tear a little more down. We'll bring you right back. So in the initial stages of our teardown, got the fan. It may not seem like much, but let's may want to hang on to that. I'll keep this in my parts pile that I want to hang on to for a few minutes, but I don't entirely want to just chuck it right away, because you never know. You might come across something that you need to, or you might come across a bad fan or something. So we are going to keep having her apart and tearing her down. So now, a prime example of things that I want to keep on this unit is the stepper motor, which controls the throttle, and obviously the throttle body, which does the fuel administration. Now, this is a double-barreled carb because it's V-twin, but look at the size of her wah. Holy. That definitely got some volume in those Venturis there. But yeah, this stepper motor, the actuator, and this carburetor body I definitely want to keep, because they're usable. I mean, I could test these out in the field, or I could use these to test units out in the field, because this is a perfectly good actuator. And in a pinch, if I have to get an actuator shipped to me, I could get this on, or I could mount this to a customer's generator while I'm waiting for the new one, and that would keep them up and running while we wait to get the brand new actuator in. So we're in the initial, we continue along with our teardown, and I noticed something. Kohler's got they got their little dipstick here held onto the block part that isn't down here, with a little fuel line clip. So I suppose it works, but Kohler, I would have expected a little better from you on that, but I suppose it works. Oh my gosh! That flywheel has got some gravity to her. Holy, yes. That's got to weigh every bit of about, I'd say 20, 30 pounds. Between that and the rotor of the generator itself, it's no wonder that the thing weighs nigh on 480, 500 pounds. So they're definitely not ones I would want to leave on an engine, but I will definitely keep these ignition coils because these are still good. They're still creating fire, and yeah, I could definitely use them on a generator that, for whatever reason, lost spark. So, one oil cooler framing. Yeah, definitely some good breathability on that guy. So, definitely keep that one in my. I'd even probably keep that one in my pack outs there. So, I think we are good. Yep, here we go. And there we go. That's the back plate. It guides the air around the engine itself. There we go. That's big. So there's my little impact for size reference. That's just a mammoth engine. Holy cats. Definitely going to keep the starter. I know for sure that this one is a good starter because it was cranking the engine over just fine, but this, look at the size of this starter watt. Like this is a proper starter. Like, you're not gonna get one better than that. And this is bigger than any of the CH starters that I have seen. So I'm gonna dry this guy off and put it in the bottom of my pack outs. Let no one tell me that these engines are not cooled enough. Look at the cooling fins on this thing. It's just a monster. Rotate the engine here. Look at the size of this cylinder head. Holy Moses. I cannot wait to crack open this crankcase and see what this thing's got for a cam inside, because you know it's going to be a right skookum choocher. I'm going to keep tearing this thing down. Holy old good night. Look. Oh, I gotta show you this. Look at the ports on this thing. Holy Moses. We gotta get the tape measure out. 1.5. Call it 1.5. Holy cats. I'm speechless. There's 2.25 inches, square inches on these head inlets, and look how much meat is there. You could totally port this out. I'm rarely at a loss for words. These heads are the most skookum cylinder heads I have ever seen. I'll get new gaskets for it anyway, but you are not going to get a better built engine than this. If you want to build an engine for some power, you might as well start with this. Kohler CH1000. 40 horsepower bone stock. Let's keep tearing down. This is going to turn into a two-parter, at least. Oil filter, remote mount. I'll hang on to that. I'll keep that in my... Or I'll probably put that in a Ziploc bag. Oh, maybe I won't. Look at that. We got glitter in there. Yeah, that one's gonna go right in the art bin. So, sadly, not gonna keep that one. Definitely gonna keep the wiring harness for the ignition coils, because I could use that, and that's something that Kohler wouldn't be mad about me keeping, or me even putting on a new unit. So we'll go ahead and wrap up part 1 right here, and we will all right, let's get into part 2. I just preemptively popped out the bolt for the rocker or the valve cover. Holy cats. I mean, framing. I get, Kohler, you're building a skookum machine, but when you use a shoulder bolt of that that magnitude, holy Moses. Yeah, we're gonna have to do some prying and prodding on that's head there, so we'll bring you back in a second. Well, for starters, they definitely sealed these guys up real good. They use their Kohlers, especially on their Courage engines, they use more of like a sealant or a gasket maker on their cylinder heads. I had no issue with that. Just I gotta scrape this off, put some new on there, and pop her on. But of note especial, we look closely, we notice that there's a bit of a hangulation on this. That means that in true Kohler fashion, we got a Hemi on our hands. I am so excited to see the inside of these cylinders, because this engine is not disappointing in any way, and I am so excited to keep going on. Let's keep going. Holy lifter rods, Batman. Look at the girth on that thing. Let's get the calipers out. Alrighty. I might double check. Zero route. Those lifter rods are 1/4 of an inch in diameter. Look at that. 0.25. 1/4 of an inch. This is such a beautiful engine. Ain't no kill like overkill. This is a proper machine, and it is a shame that this oil seal, this is the oil seal that pushed out on it. It pushed out right here, and it just started spraying oil everywhere. And it is such a shame that it pushed out and failed like that, because I dream of putting one of these on a Harley Davidson frame, because 40 horsepower bone stock at 1,000 cc's, that's got to have a ton of torque. This is a pretty clever design for pulling the head off here, because you got a little plug-em thing, so you can stick your socket down in there and pull it out. You'll see this is covered in schmoo, but that's because it's exposed to the elements. You'll see, get my pinky around through there. So this is a really well-designed engine. I think it's pretty obvious at this point. Cute little silly me thinking I would be able to pull these head bolts off with my little impact driver. Oh yeah, even this guy had to work at it. Come on. There we go. Alrighty. Wow. Just a robust piece of engineering right here. Washers? When was the last time you saw a washer on a head bolt? Framing, but holy cats. There's another one. Jeepers criminy. They don't build them like this except unless their brand is Kohler. Wow. Well, let's you guys ready for this? Oh my gosh. Actually, it is a wedge head, so I was mistaken. Doesn't happen often, but it does happen. But look at the valve size. I was such a fool for putting my calipers away. Let's do this. First we'll measure diameter of the pistone. Piston well here. 3.5 inches. 3.5 inches in diameter. Now, here's the real interesting one. Inch and a half for the intake. Inch and a quarter for the exhaust. I don't know what else to say about this engine. This thing is just there is more beef on this engine than a cow, and I'm not even close to done tearing her down. I think it goes without saying that this engine is incredibly skookum. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to pull off the other head, and then I will bring you guys back when I go to actually crack open the crankcase. This engine is beautiful. Like, it's a shame that it died and it pushed out that oil seal. But I'm going to hang on onto the heads, the lifter rods, basically the entire valve train, because I can use that on another one of these engines if need be. But yeah, it's it's beautiful. Oh, and by the way, this thing has hydraulic lifters in it. Skookum. Well, we done properly opened up the crankcase, and proper connecting rods here. I already started to unhook them with their little. There's a little well in there for. I lost the bolt down into that little well right there. But these pistons, holy buckets, skookum. The pistons, the rods. Kohler, I hope you figured out some sort of fancy, scientistically delicious bit of engineering, but I'm not liking what I'm seeing here. Not what I'm seeing right here, but what I've already pulled out. This is the camshaft. Really nice turned single piece of steel, but plastique. Are we really saving? Do we really need to save 10 cents worth of metal in this? I got my CH1000 camshaft up on the wall right there. One big piece of billet piece of steel. What, Kohler, what are you trying to, or what kind of plastic is this that you are so confident that it's going to last 10 years if the customer buys the extended warranty? Actually, fun fact, they're offering free warranties for the next, or free extended 10-year warranties on their generators for the next month if any of y'all are interested in that. But, what is this? We got an enormously powerful engine with skookum rods. We'll pop the pistons out here in a minute in part 3. But a plastique cam gear. I am so disappointed. My next engine that I tear down by Kohler, it better not have a plastic camshaft gear in it. Otherwise, I'm going to be mad. Kohler, shame on you for this. Did you really need to chintz out that few cents on your engines? Well, friends, more at Service and Repair. Welcome back to my house. I got really distracted at the shop this afternoon. I had a bunch of machines coming through the shop today. But here is part 3 and the closing out of that Kohler CH1000 engine. I didn't show many of the, I didn't show like the, I don't think I showed the piston or the pistons and connecting rods at all. I'll do that here soon. But one thing I wanted to share with you all is that I did contact Kohler corporate. Because I'm a certified tech, I was able to go straight up the line nice and quick in getting in touch with them. And I asked them about this camshaft because this really perturbed me. I almost did not post these videos until I talked with Kohler today. Because I was so mad about this. Because this is the Kohler command engine we're talking about. The absolute best in the business. And I was so upset that they put a plastic cam gear in such a robust engine. You saw the footage. That engine was not cheaply built. Why did they chintz out at the last second on that camshaft gear? So I got in touch with them and I talked with one of their engineers. And they did hear the cries of their customers. There was great concern about the plastic not having good longevity to it. The mechanics were the ones right on the front line saying, hey, you guys got to change this. You guys got to change this back to a single billet steel camshaft. And they did. They did. I talked to their engineers. All of their, as of 2020, all of their CH940 and on up to the CH1000 engines, now they used to have that plastic composite cam gear. But after 2020, they heard the concern about longevity, and they went back to the billet steel. The single piece, beautifully machined. You see it in the video where I put the two camshafts side by side. And Kohler, I'm proud of you. You heard your customers' concerns and you acted on it. You continued to be the best engine manufacturer out there by hearing your customers' concerns and making it right. Now, for this application of a standby generator, this isn't necessarily the worst choice because standby generators, especially of this magnitude, are a bit noisy. And what their engineer told me is that they were getting a much quieter engine in mechanical function with a plastic cam gear, the composite cam gear. And the mechanics and the customers who heard about this, their biggest concern was, well, I'd much rather have a noisier engine that lasts a whole lot longer than one that I have to replace the camshaft every 500-600 hours on. And Kohler said, valid point. We'll go back to the steel cam gears. So, bravo, Kohler. You made me proud. And all of the new RCA units, including the engine that I just installed on that new RCA 20, that engine has a steel cam gear in it. I am so proud to be called a Kohler standby generator service technician. Well, a Kohler service technician for that matter. But I wanted you guys to hear this because that's important, because you look at that and a lot of you, and some of you might jump in the comments section saying, hey, see, Kohler puts plastic cam gears in there. They did. Keyword being did. They've gone back to it. In their command engines, you are not going to get a better engine than a command engine. I will die on that hill. Go back and watch those videos of me tearing that down. All the new CH1000 that I just put in on that generator, it's identical in engineering to the one I just torn down. But the difference is that billet steel cam gear on that single piece camshaft. Just like you saw in that video of the CH1000, that that camshaft, all one big piece of steel that was machined out of a big old billet of steel. They've done that. They've gone back to doing that with their CH940, clear up to the CH1000s. I am so pleased that Kohler did that because they kept the integrity of the Kohler command engine intact by doing that. And it reassured me that I can look at my customers and say, yes, you want to buy a Kohler standby generator. Even with that plastic cam gear in there, you should still buy a Kohler because you're going to get the cleanest power that there is. So that wraps it up for the CH1000 teardown. I wanted to give you this little video just so to clear up some concerns that I know some of you might have. But Kohler command engines, you're not going to beat them. They're built the best to beat the rest. Thanks so much for watching, guys. We'll catch you in the next one. And if you're in the market for a standby generator, get a Kohler. Or if you have any questions about them, give me a shout. Love to talk with you. Comments below or my shop phone number, 319-446-7122. We'll talk to you guys later. And until then, stay warm. It snowed on us this morning. Come quickly, summer.